How many people are here today because you want to create a progressive vision of a humane, just, and sustainable world? Raise your hand. If we want to create this new world, then we have the obligation to utilize every resource at our disposal to build the most powerful, most diverse social justice movement that we possibly can. Nonprofits organized under a 501c3 structure can be an invaluable resource to building our movement.
Knowing that no revolutionary movement of people has been led by and sustained by a nonprofit organization in the history of the world, we assert that long-term sustainable liberation for all oppressed and exploited people will be driven by people's movements that are independent from state-monitored and foundation-funded institutions known affectionately as the nonprofit industrial complex.
Happening around people did that work back then with no pay and they ate and they had places to live, and that happens with resources, and every revolutionary movement in the world was funded by something.
You start with saying that we should use any and all resources, and we would agree with that actually, and that we would actually say that this small sector of the nonprofit industrial complex that is social justice minded is part of the resources that we should use. But the sector as a whole will not be the driving force for revolutionary change in this country.
Something that started to happen over many, many years, as many of us started to notice, that the chief criteria, even though none of us would admit it, and I'm of course not talking about any groups here today, but I'm talking about groups in other places far away. Those other groups, not us, would sometimes use as their primary criteria for deciding whether to do something, this question: can we get it funded? And of course, this is not the right question, but it's a real question. It's a real question, and it's a real tension.
Thank you all for joining us at Raising the Roof for the Raising Change Conference. Y'all put your hands together. Lots and lots of fun.
You do the Cupid chain, down, down, do your dance, do your
Here it goes. I remember Marvin Gaye, he used to sing to me. He had me feeling like black was the thing to be.
And so those of us that are in pursuit of justice, are in pursuit of doing the right thing, right, that are about liberation and not just equality, have a home here at Gift.
Mr. Fat on the track, got another hit.
Here we go. Hey.
Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Come on, down, down, do your dance, do your dance.
Let me see you.
Do your dance, do your dance.
Do your dance.
Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance.
We got a brand new dance. Kick a swing out, baby. We got a brand new sound. Mr. Fat on the track.
Real raising change, money, comes from us, because we eventually want to be self-sustainable and carry out our mission and our goals without restrictions.